This is part A of lab 1, measuring voltages of a 3-phase 4-wire service. This is also called a Y connection or a star connection, where there are 3 positive lines and 1 negative line known as neutral. When the voltage is measured between a phase and a neutral, that will be known as a phase voltage. And when the voltage is measured between 2 lines, it is known as a line voltage or a line-to-line voltage.
So now the first part of the experiment, what we are going to do is measure the voltages of a 3-phase and 4-wire service. So now where is 3-phase and 4-wire service over here? So in the table you can see 1, 2, 3 and neutral. That means we are going to measure the voltages for the block where we have 1, 2, 3 and neutral. So this is the AC voltage of constant values. 120 for single phase and 208 for 2 phases. Okay. So now we are going to measure the voltages between 1 and neutral, between 2 and neutral, 3 and neutral. That is for only one phase. And between 1 to 3, 2 to 3 and 1 to 2. So between 2 phases, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 1. Okay. So let's see how we can do this. Okay, so for the measurement, we need 2 wires to connect the voltages to voltmeter. I have taken the red wire and the black wire. You can get the wires from the rack right beside over here. Okay. And I also have the small black wire to connect the lab volt station to the power supply. Okay. So this black wire we use to connect the 24 volt from the power supply to the lab volt station. You can see the indicator green light is on. That means the lab volt has 24 volt supply in there. So now let's measure the voltmeter. We need to measure the voltages. That means we need a voltmeter. And we are using voltmeter from the lab volt station. So first of all, from 1 to neutral. So voltmeter is connected across. So from positive 1 to positive of the voltmeter, I'm using E1. And from neutral of the power supply to neutral negative of the voltmeter. So now I have connected a single phase to the voltmeter. So E1 should measure the voltage between terminal 1 and neutral. Okay. Now we need the software for this. So we go to the computer and search for LVDAC, Lab Volt Data Acquisition System. So this is the software we need. Remember the name here, LVDAC. You click on that and you will see the display for LVDAC. You can choose 120 volts 60 Hz. Press OK. Now you have a page for the software. Now bring up the menu we need. If you hover around the menus at the top, you can see the menu that says metering. Click on that and the metering menu, metering dialog box will be displayed. You can see all the values, whatever is in the lab volt hardware, the station, you can see all the values in here for the display. Since the lab volt station does not have any display in here, only connections, we have the display in the software. Okay. So right now we are using E1 as our voltmeter. We don't need E2, E3 and E4, so we can shut them down pressing the M button. So whatever we do not need, we can turn them off so that we have only the display that we need. Okay. So right now E1 is showing 111 volt. That is the voltage between phase 1 and neutral of the 3-phase system. Okay. Okay, so we are going to record the value in the table given in your lab sheet. So we measure voltage between 1 and neutral, and that is given by 111.3 volt. Okay. So we are doing the same thing for all the values given in here. So measure the voltage between 2 and neutral. Now what do? The neutral remains same, so we keep the neutral wire connected and make sure you turn the switch off. Turn the switch off. You can keep the 24 volt on for the lab volt station, otherwise it will be reset every time. So once you have the main power switch off, now you can change your terminal from number 1 to number 2. Now we have the voltmeter connected across 2 and N, number 2 phase and neutral. And the voltmeter we are using is same, E1. Okay. Now let's turn the power switch back on and look at the metering in the software. We can see 113 volt. Okay. So whatever voltage you can see in there, you can record in the table. Okay. In the similar manner, you can do for 3 to N as well. Okay. So the voltage between 1 to N, between 2 to N and 3 to N, these are called phase voltages. These are called phase voltages. Voltage between one phase and a neutral. Okay. So now let's measure line voltage. Line voltage, or we can say line to line voltage. That means the voltage between two lines, two positive lines, between 1 and 3, between 2 and 3, and between 1 and 3. So again, turn the power switch off, and now we need the voltmeter across two positives. That means 1 and 2. So 1 is a positive line, 2 is a positive line. This is a three-phase system. We have 3 positives and 1 negative. Earlier we measured the voltage between 1 positive and 1 negative. Now this time we are measuring the voltage between 2 positives. Okay? So measure between number 1 and number 2. Let's turn the power switch back on. We are again using E1 as our voltmeter, and now you can see the voltage is increased to 195.5. That means line voltage is always higher than the phase voltage. There is always a higher voltage between two lines than the voltage between one line and a neutral line. Okay, so you record the voltage 195. This is the voltage between 1 and 2. So we record the value over here, 195.5 volt. Okay, so we do the same for between 1 and 3 and 2 and 3. So every time you change the connection, make sure you turn the
switch off
for safety. Okay.